Good morning, everybody. I'm pretty sure I'm live. I'm pretty sure you can hear me. How are we doing Tuesday morning? And for the second day in a row, bang on time here with the latest and greatest Manchester United transfer news. Where are you watching from? Let me know in the comments below. Plenty of you joined in on YouTube yesterday. Plenty of you joined in on Facebook. What country are you watching it from as well? There's Reds all around the world. Today, I'm talking about the latest reports from Spain about Varane. I'm going to call him Varane, just because it rhymes. Latest reports there saying that United are ready to offer him a bigger contract than Real Madrid. Is this just another Sergio Ramos situation, or could we actually sign an elite level centre-back from Real Madrid? I'll discuss it in this video. Updates on Jadon Sancho coming out from Germany, and more importantly, Ruhr Nachrichten. And if you don't know who they are the local Dortmund newspaper. I spoke to Jurgen Kurz from them, trying to speak to him again. Waiting to hear back from him. And he's going to give me the updates on Sancho. Going to talk about Ruben Neves and Declan Rice. I did another tweet yesterday, and that's not the first time I've done it. And let's just say there was a fair bit of discussion about it. So I want to discuss it with you in this video and also anything else about United. Now, let's see where we are all watching from. Loads of comments coming here. We've got Ikshem watching from South Africa. Morning, mate. We've got Abdullah watching from Bangladesh. Isaac from Malta. Olivia watching from Luxembourg. We've got Richard from Namibia, Stefan from Serbia, Paul watching from good old Lancashire. There are tons. And Junior joining from USA. Man, what time is it there? But let's get straight to the news. And the news is all about Rafael Varane. Now, this is the main story from today. It's come from Defensa Central. And I'll be honest, I'm not really sure where this has come from, because I haven't really heard of Defensa Central again, but it was too important a point to not really discuss. So that's exactly what I'm doing here. And make sure, as always, if you have any questions for me, fire them in the comments. If you really want to ask a question, fire it in the super chats. I will answer as many as I can throughout this video. Let's go through this video now. Not this video, sorry, this article. United offers Varane the 12 million salary that Madrid cannot give him. Now, in this article, it goes on to discuss the fact that discussions really between Rafael Varane and Real Madrid have kind of muted a little bit, because they're ready to offer him 9 million euros. His current salary is 5 million. So that's nearly a double of the salary. But they go on to say that he feels he's worth as much as it Alba. I think it's Alba, they said. And more importantly, that United right there are ready to offer him 12 million euros, which is more, just to let you know. Now, let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think that this is just going to be another situation like Sergio Ramos? Remember that summer where we were linked with him? Heavily linked with him. And it really felt like there was an actual opportunity that we might sign Sergio Ramos. And then we didn't. And then Sergio Ramos signed a new contract. He stayed at Real Madrid. United were left with their pants down, and we didn't have a signing. Could the same thing happen with Rafael Varane? Absolutely. There is no question that this could just end up being another situation like that. But on the other hand, this one feels a little bit different, because Zinedine Zidane has he's left Real Madrid. Carlo Ancelotti is now their new manager. And Zinedine Zidane was the manager who brought Rafael Varane to Real Madrid from Lens. I spoke about this before. We were really interested in Fergie, really wanted him, but he chose Real Madrid because Zidane and the lure that he brought there. So for Rafael Varane, Zidane was a significant manager, an important aspect of why he was at Real Madrid. He's only got 1 year left on his contract as well. And Real Madrid, let's be honest, they're not, maybe they are the powerhouse that they were before, but in terms of attracting players, of keeping players, Real Madrid is seriously in debt. They've got Eden Hazard was their latest big signing that just hasn't worked out. And there's quite a few examples of that, unfortunately, for Real Madrid. I mean, what a shame for Real Madrid. But it feels like a summer where they could really actually try and cash in on a few of their players. And Rafael Varane maybe is one of them. Let's read a few of your comments. We've got a comment here from Joshua who doesn't really want him. He's washed up. He's a has-been. We don't need him. Well, I mean, if he was washed up and a has-been, Joshua, he probably wouldn't be going to Euro 2021 as a starting centre-back for France. I mean, at least I think he is a starting centre-back, and the guy's got like 4 Champions Leagues. And how old is Rafael Varane? Let me look at this. I don't actually know, but I'm guessing he's not that old. 28. Prime. prime age for a centre-back. And I'll be honest, at this point, when you've got United centre-backs, everybody looks appealing. Every single centre-back looks appealing. That's not just Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof. Completely forgot Victor Lindelof's name there. And I'd love it to be Rafael Varane. I'd love it to be... Would I love it to be Pau Torres? I haven't really watched enough of Pau Torres, but I hope this doesn't end up the same as Sergio Ramos. I feel, obviously, when it comes to signing players from Real Madrid, we always get a bit skeptical, don't we? As United fans, we've seen it before. We've seen these stories before, and we know what happens. And maybe this is going to be the same again. But as I said, this one feels slightly different because of the fact that there is 1 year left on his contract, that Zidane has left, and that right now Real Madrid financially are in pretty much ruin. Let's be honest, they've been in debt forever, but because they're linked with the royal family, their debts were never going to get called in by the banks. That's changing now. It's the reason why Real Madrid and Barcelona were pushing so hard, and the real front runners behind the European Super League, because they saw that as the opportunity to really protect their revenues, and that's all they're interested in. This will not be a summer where you see Real Madrid spending 80, 90 million on 2 players. The Galacticos. They can't afford to do that anymore. Real Madrid is skint. And therefore, things are different this summer when it comes to Real Madrid and when it comes to transfers. They will not be there spending 140 million on Haaland and getting rid of a couple of players for another 100, 150. Maybe they will get rid of players for 100, 150, but it doesn't really feel like Real Madrid is as Real Madrid was. You know, they went through winning it back-to-back under Zinedine Zidane, the Champions League. It's not that team anymore. Ronaldo's left and he's taken Real Madrid's spark with him. They haven't really replaced him and they're really, really struggling. But let me know in the comments now. Type yes or no. Do you want United to sign Rafael Varane? Do you think that he could be the centre-back that could come in to our squad and really be the partner for Maguire that we are looking for? Victor Lindelof, he's got his strengths, but play them alongside each other. I think they exacerbate each other's weaknesses, and that's the big issue. Loads of comments coming in here. First 10, 20 comments, all saying yes. Big, big yeses. Although there's a couple of no's. I would say 95% of you would say yes. And when you've got someone like Phil Jones, who is still on our bloody books, you got Eric Bailly, who's given a new contract. Questionable, I'll be honest, whether he should have been given that new contract, but he was, and United do that with a lot of players. Our centre-backs are still probably the biggest overall weakness of our squad. You're looking at Eric Bailly, you're looking at Axel Tuanzebe, Victor Lindelof, Harry Maguire, Phil Jones. I mean, if he still counts. Chris Smalling's obviously gone now, but Varane, he'd be a super signing. And let's see what happens at Euro 2021, because if France goes on to win it and he goes on to play a key role, the price of Varane is going to go up significantly. And it's already going to be quite a lot anyway. I have no idea what the actual price of him is, but we've only got 1 year left on his contract. Maybe United can negotiate that down. But as I can see from the majority of these comments, you all like Rafael Varane just as much as I do. Let's read a few of your comments out there here. One there from, where's it gone? Navin. Do you think United's board are capable of doing this deal? Chelsea are monitoring him also. That's the big issue here, I suppose. And that's the big reason why John Murtough really has to prove himself this summer. Because when it comes to United's board, when it comes to dealing with transfers, we've just, over the last few years, we've just dilly-dallied. We've delayed. We've not signed players. We've gone after the wrong players. We've offered less than we've needed to. We've made it complicated. And the reason that John Murtough has come in is to smooth that process out. Ed Woodward, gone. Matt Judge is now not the man in control. He's got a new boss, and the boss is John Murtough, a football man who understands the football needs. And therefore, I'm hoping that this summer we can see, I'll speak about Jadon Sancho in a minute, but we can see a deal for Sancho gone through. We know what the price is now. Just go and pay it. And I hope John Murtough is going to be pushing that onto the board, saying, look, we could negotiate and try and get 3-4 million euros off, but there's more benefit to us as a club, as United, to get Sancho now, pay a little bit more and get it done and dusted. There's no benefit to the club to dragging it out. And that is what I want to see John Murtough do. And hopefully he can do that with someone like Rafael Varane or Pau Torres or any other centre-back we link with as well, because we certainly need a centre-back. Now, on to my next talking point. And this is, I didn't realize it was going to be that much of a debate, but I've done a couple of tweets on it now. And both of them have been ridiculously engaged. I tweeted this yesterday. It genuinely blows my mind that United aren't all over Ruben Neves if he's available for 35 million. Premier League proven, established, 24. So much to his game. It's a no-brainer. Surely he's not an absolutely pure DM like Rice or Ndidi, but come on, Neves would be a great signing for United. And as you can see, it got a lot of engagement. There was a huge debate, I would honestly say, between United fans. Some wanting Neves, some not wanting Neves. I want to know where you stand on Ruben Neves, because for me, looking at Ruben Neves, and I actually really want to speak to a Wolves-based journalist, because I really want to get a proper opinion on how Neves played last season. But for me, Neves looks like someone who can come in and play that dynamic CDM role and play it extremely, extremely well. He's not just a man who bangs it in from the edge of the box, which is obviously, he scored that banger against United. That's not the reason I want to sign him. It's that when I watch Wolves playing, Ruben Neves is just absolutely fantastic. And this is what I find really interesting. So here, PremierLeague.com, looking at the stats for Ruben Neves against Declan Rice. Now, Declan Rice is probably considered the prime defensive midfield target for United. Would you say that's fair? I would say that's probably fair. You're looking at around 80, 90 million. Therefore, with United going after Sancho, going after a centre-back, I don't think that's really realistic. I don't think that will happen. We won't pay that much. When it comes to Ruben Neves, he's labelled as an attacking midfielder, somebody who scores goals from the edge of the box. That's what he does. A quick look at his stats might make you disagree. Ignoring the overview, it's going down to his attacking play. Obviously, this is where Ruben Neves is going to be better than Declan Rice, because he's better going forward, more goals per match, far less minutes per goal, more shots on target, shooting success rate, headed goals from inside the box, plenty. Here's where it gets interesting when it comes to Ruben Neves and Declan Rice. Let's have a quick look at his defensive stats. Now, Declan Rice, West Ham had a better defence this season. He kept 10 clean sheets and conceded 5 less goals. Had the same amount of blocks. Let's get interesting. Interceptions, Ruben Neves made more. Tackles, Ruben Neves made significantly more. Successful tackles, made more. Clearances, Ruben Neves made more. Headed clearances and aerial battles, that comes down to a height thing. That's where Declan Rice has certainly got the proficiency over Ruben Neves. But for people to just simply label Ruben Neves as this attacking midfielder who scores cracking goals from the edge of the box, and that's all he does, I think it's mad. I think it's genuinely mad that people do that. I'll tell you what will be interesting. Let's see if we can compare Neves to Ndidi, for example. Ndidi, for me, is probably a better defensive midfielder than Declan Rice in terms of what I've seen. And let's see if that is the case. Clean sheets, Neves kept more at Wolves, goals conceded less, interceptions, roughly the same. Tackles, Ndidi had more. Successful tackles, Ndidi had more. Clearances, Ndidi had more. Headed clearances, Ndidi far better defensively there, statistically, than Ruben Neves. And I think, yeah, this is the thing I can't really get my head around. People who are just labeling Ruben Neves as this attacking, goal-scoring midfielder when there is so much more to that guy's game. And he's only 24. And the link up with Bruno Fernandes from Portugal, that could certainly be a little bonus. But I just see him as a fantastic signing for 35 million. And maybe it's wrong of me to sort of suggest that, because are we really going to go and sign Ruben Neves and then sign a defensive midfielder and then sign a right winger and then sign a centre-back and a right-back? Probably not. So maybe in that sense, I'm looking at a squad strengthening signing in Ruben Neves than I am the pure defensive midfielder like Ndidi that we need. Because, given the two, if you ask me, do I choose between Ruben Neves and Wilfred Ndidi? I'd rather sign Ndidi. Would I rather sign Ruben Neves than Declan Rice, though? I don't know. There's lots of comments here coming in about Sven Botman. So many from Lee Harvey, who I'm going to have to mute you for a while there, man, friend. You're going in a timeout. No spam in the channel. Oh, actually, yeah. I mentioned it. A couple of you emailed me about wanting to become moderators on the channel for the live chat, because obviously I can't really keep completely on top of the live chat as it's going on. If you do want to get involved, make sure you email me. It's sam@thepeoplesperson.com. That's my email. If you want to get involved, I'd love to get you all involved here. The more the merrier on the channel. But yeah, I find this Neves debate really quite interesting, because for me, it's a no-brainer. I've said it more than once now. And if Arsenal go and sign him, look, I thought the party was a fantastic signing for Arsenal, and that hasn't really proved to be the case. I mean, I still think he was. But if you're looking at all the top six, you're looking at City, Fernandinho. You're looking at Chelsea, Kante. You're looking at Liverpool, Fabinho. You're looking at Spurs with Højbjerg. You're looking at Arsenal with Partey. Well, a little bit further down in the top six. But United need that pure defensive midfielder. Whether that's going to be someone like Ndidi, who is really statistically that pure defensive midfielder, or someone like Ruben Neves that you can turn into a midfielder that's a little bit more dynamic with his game. I'm guessing that Ruben Neves has got better attacking stats. What about passing stats? That'll be interesting. Team play. So look, far more passes forward, more passes backwards, more touches, far more involved in the game. Although Wilfred Ndidi got 4 assists, so he's clinical. Very nice. I love it. I love Ndidi. I don't really think that we're going to get him, but let's find out. As I said before, make sure you get your comments in. Make sure you get your super chats in if you've got something to say as well. Let's move on to the next thing. And this is an interesting one, very interesting one. This is about Jadon Sancho. And the reason it's interesting is because Jadon Sancho is set to be sold by Borussia Dortmund. And where's it coming from? It's coming from Ruhr Nachrichten. Now, as I said, they're a locally based Dortmund newspaper who have built up a very strong reputation over the years as being an extremely reliable. So when things happen with Dortmund, Ruhr Nachrichten know about it and they report about it. And for them to be saying that Sancho is going to be sold is big, big news. And it really seems like United somehow we've got a free run at Sancho for the 2nd year in a row. Now, if Real Madrid and Barcelona weren't so skint, I don't think that would be the case. But Spanish football has gone off the radar. So Sancho's options, I would probably say, in terms of elite level, are you looking at Juventus are off the radar now. Inter, they've just lost Conte. Who do you go to in Italy? In England and with United, he's got that. He's got that move. And I think we're a little bit lucky, I'll be honest, to actually get a second run at him. A free second run, but we are. Super chat coming in here from Thomas on YouTube. Thank you very much, mate. You are saying get Neves, Varane, Sancho, Trippier, and Heaton, and we will have a good summer. Right? You let me know in the comments. Type yes or no. Do you agree with Thomas? Do you think if we get that as our summer transfer window, do you think that is good? Yes or no? You can let me know in the comments below. I'll be honest. I think that'll be a great summer. Neves in for defensive midfield. Maybe he's not a pure DM, but he strikes me as a player that you can really craft into a proper pure DM, and he'd be very good at it. Sancho, Trippier, back up to Wan-Bissaka, Heaton coming in. Obviously, Joel Pereira's leaving, and you've got Sergio Romero leaving. I think that'll be a fantastic summer if that happens. I really hope he does, my friend. Let's get that off, and let's go down to the comments. Loads of you agreeing there. You think it'll be a great summer, says CP over on YouTube. You're A saying unsure about Varane and Neves. I mean, I'm not sure whether we'd sign them. I wouldn't be unsure if we did sign them, though. I think if we sign them, they'd both be fantastic for United. And I think when it comes to, I've already said this earlier on the stream, when it comes to centre-backs, I just find them all attractive. Not in that sense. Because of the situation that we're in, it's kind of hard to not look at everything. I want you, I want you. Everybody looks good. So in terms of who would actually be the best fit for United, I don't know in that sense. So maybe some of you can tell me in the comments below. Loads of you mentioning Botman. Who the hell is Botman? Let's have a look. Oh, Sven Botman. Oh, yeah. He's been linked to, was it, what's the name of that other one? From, was it Alkmaar? The one who's going to Atalanta. That's another one that's been linked. But United need this defensive midfielder. Oh, my God. I've been banging on the defensive midfield drum for so long that at this point, I find it aggravating that United really aren't getting properly linked. Ashish, you sent that in, but you didn't send the comment, you donut. Make sure you do. Leave it in the comments. Coot Miners, thank you very much, Denley. That was the name of the bloke. I forgot. No, that's Ghana. Oh, you're in Ghana. Big up Ghana. Where is it? Denelli saying Coot Miners. There he is. That's the guy. I forgot his name of. But I think he's off to Atalanta for around about 20 million. That's very cheap. And Atalanta, let's be honest, they've done very well in Serie A for the last few years. So maybe players like that can see that as a stepping stone to somewhere else. Obviously, that's where we got Hamad Diallo from. Let's read a few of your comments out here. What was that comment there? This is a good one. Hey, Sam, if we have to spend 80 million, do you think we should go for Sancho or focus on Grealish? Everybody, you can let me know in the comments now. Sancho or Grealish. Just type that name in and I'll see how many comments we get through. But I tell you what, Grealish really looks like he's got the X factor about him for England this summer at the Euros. I think he looks like the player who really can change the game. He's a player who's going to be getting kicked around, the player who's going to be, you're going to want to get the ball to. But I think at United and what United need, we don't need that. That's Bruno Fernandes, the player that you turn to, you get the ball to as soon as possible. I think if you get someone like Jack Grealish in, I think it would contrast. I think you'd be doing that, it'd be butting heads. Whereas someone like Sancho fits in exactly where United have a weakness. At right wing, we've had a weakness at right wings basically since Ronaldo and Nani left. No one's ever properly replaced him. Valencia came in, did a job, but he did a job. Someone like Sancho comes in and makes that right wing position his own. No one gets anywhere near him. Whereas Grealish, I think, actually plays more naturally on the left. He likes to cut in a little bit like Rashford, but obviously far more central. Excellent with the ball at his feet. I'll be honest, both of them would be outstanding signings. But in terms of exactly what United need, it has to be Jadon Sancho out of those two. Good question, though, because it's certainly a debate to be had. Let's quickly head over to the People's Person website and see what other latest news we've got on here. Kieran Trippier, no thank you. Oh yeah, that's the Varane news I was telling you about this morning. Marcus Rashford, no, nothing on you. We're down here. Nah. We've covered all that. Let's go back to the comments then. Let's see what you guys and girls have to say. Let's leave it on that. Let's go back to Varane at some point. Lee Harvey firing in a comment. Sven Botman, do a little research video on him, please. I promise I will take a look at Sven Botman after this video. In fact, I'm going to type it here. I'm going to open a little window and have a look at Sven Botman. Because a lot of you are mentioning him, so I think it'd be rude of me not to. But United certainly need that defensive midfielder. I personally think that if United do not sign a defensive midfielder this summer, you can rule out competing for the Premier League next year. Completely rule it out. We just won't do it. Our midfield is too imbalanced without a proper defensive midfielder, because for Solskjaer to get that defensive solidarity that he craves, you need to play McTominay and Fred together. And playing those two together means you've got to take one of Pogba or Bruno out. Or if you play both of those together, you've got to take one of Greenwood or Rashford out. By not having a one defensive midfielder, you force the imbalance to move somewhere else up the pitch, whether that's with the two central midfielders in front of him, or whether that's with one of the wingers, or whoever it is. There's an issue that comes from United playing both McTominay and Fred together. And that needs to change. And the only way that changes if you sign someone like Ndidi or Rice or Neves or Botman maybe, or Coop Miners. So many defensive midfielders that don't play for Manchester United. It staggers it. It actually blows my mind, properly blows my mind, that there are so many United fans out there, and maybe some of you as well, that don't feel a defensive midfielder is the single most important signing that we can make this summer. I would put it way above Jadon Sancho. We scored so many goals last year. Goal scoring was not an issue for United. Shaping midfield, possession of the ball, when it comes from the defence through the midfield, we cannot control the ball there. We have to move it quickly. Boom, boom, boom. Get it up to Bruno. Get it somewhere else, because we don't have that midfield that can just pass it around and just control possession like we always used to do with Carrick and Scholes. Just made it look easy. It's not easy. We've seen that now because we don't have the right players for it. And yeah, it still blows my mind that there's so many people that don't actually think that defensive midfielder is the single most important signing. I'm going to read a few of your comments out now. Make sure you get your comments in. Make sure you get your super chats in. And let me know where you're watching from. And I'll give a few shout outs all around the world because there are plenty of United fans all around the world. Haaland. Chelsea open talks over a move for Dortmund striker Haaland, which could see them pay as much as 170 million, with the Blues considering offering Tammy Abraham as part of the deal. If Chelsea, if you want to go and spend 170 million on Erling Haaland, you are free to go and do that, my friend. United will not go near Haaland this summer. I'd love to sign him. Jeez, I'd love to sign him. Haaland looks like he's going to be like Lewandowski Part 2, right? That's the sort of level of striker he looks like he's going to be. But United won't go after him this summer. We've got Cavani on a 1-year extension. As I said, goal scoring was not an issue for us last summer. As much as we do definitely still need another striker, I think it will be next summer when that release clause comes in, baby. 75 million euros. You think United are going to spend 100 million more than that to get him this summer? Or anybody is? I don't think so, personally. Comment here coming in from Thomas. Thank you very much, Thomas. Varane will come, Jones out. Varane will be number 4, Mata out, and Neves gets number 8. Lingard out, and Sancho will be number 14, and next year number 7. From Norway. Big up Norway. It's a very detailed comment. Jones has to leave. My God, has there been anybody who's stolen a living more at a football club than Phil bloody Jones? Remember the new Duncan Edwards? That didn't really work out. I think Varane coming in, be number 4, be happy with that. And I also agree that Mata leaving the club this summer, in the same sense as I keep going on about David De Gea and him leaving the club, I think if Mata leaves the club, it suits the club and it suits Mata. He can maybe go back to Spain. Is it Real Oviedo he came from? That would be a nice story. But Mata's been a great servant for the club, and I'm not going to kick him out of the club, but I'd rather minutes go to other players now than Juan Mata. I think there's Amad Diallo, for example. I'd rather bring him on than Juan Mata. Bruno Fernandes starting. I'd rather bring Van der Beek on than Mata. It just makes sense. Our squad's strong enough without Mata. Lingard, he should certainly be leaving, and for his own career as well, let's be honest, because Lingard did so well at West Ham. And he can feel slightly hard done by to not get into the Euros team. But if you look at the attackers we've got, I kind of understand why not. We've got a few comments coming here. We've got Mardemutu watching from Mauritius. Good morning to you. I think it's good morning over there. We've got 2 from Mauritius. Got Kevin. Are you watching it next to each other? Got Liberia. Ishmael watching from Liberia. How you doing, buddy? Where else are we watching this from? Victorin watching from Melbourne in Australia. How you doing? Got Krishnedu watching from India. Another Malaysian. Plenty of Malaysians in here today. Prayer watching from Nigeria. How you doing? Now, this is a comment I'm going to obviously have to have a discussion about. Cristiano Ronaldo. Does he want a United return? There's plenty of stories coming out from him. Let me pull one up I saw earlier. Ronaldo, ESPN. Obviously, Ronaldo, with what's going on at Juventus, only just about snuck in to the Champions League this year. I mean, he literally snuck in. And if they didn't get into the Champions League, you can guarantee that Ronaldo would have been pushing for a move away from Juventus. But maybe because he didn't, 1 sec, where is that comment gone? There it is. There we go. Sorry about that, ladies and gents. Right, let me get this back up on screen. Ronaldo. This has come from ESPN, come from Rob Dawson. Rob Dawson, very good guy, very good journalist. I've chatted to him a few times on the channel, actually. Maybe I'll chat to him again about Ronaldo. He's saying that Cristiano Ronaldo, let me try and pull this a little bit bigger so you can see it. Look at that. I'm so good to you. Cristiano Ronaldo's representatives are continuing to gauge interest from some of Europe's top clubs, despite holding talks with Juventus over the Portugal captain's future. Ronaldo has a year left on his contract with Juventus, but that has not stopped intermediaries assessing whether there is appetite elsewhere for the 36-year-old. PSG, Real Madrid, and Man United are among the clubs contacted in an effort to discover whether he could fit into their plans for the summer transfer window. How many goals did he score last year, Ronaldo? He scored plenty. There you go. He's 36 years old, right? This blows my mind. 36 years old. He scored 36 goals in 44 bloody games. My God, Ronaldo is an absolute monster of a player. Monster of a player. Is there going to be another player as good as Ronaldo in our lifetime? I think we've all been privileged to watch the Ronaldo-Messi rivalry, and it's going to be a rivalry that really goes down in history as probably the best rivalry you'll ever see between two elite players going to and fro. Maybe it got boring watching them winning the Ballon d'Or, but it did not get boring watching them. And I did not get bored watching Ronaldo back in 2007-8. Man, he was easily the most exciting player I've ever seen in a United shirt. Would you want Cristiano Ronaldo back at the club this summer? 36 years old. He cost a hell of a lot of money. He'd have to start every week. Where would he start? Up front? I mean, he was turned into more of a pure striker at Real Madrid, but at United, he was always right winger. Is he the answer? Let me know in the comments below. Would you want United to sign Cristiano Ronaldo? Yes or no? And do you think, how much do you think it would cost? It's Ronaldo. He's only got 1 year left on his contract and he's 36. It's going to be 6 of one and half a dozen of the other there, because Ronaldo, can he turn Ronaldo down? Is it the wrong sort of short stopgap signing, or is it the right sort of stopgap signing? Maybe getting Ronaldo for a year before Haaland. Could that work? Would Ronaldo come for a year? How much would it cost? There's so many questions you'd have to ask around that. But I don't think any United fan wouldn't enjoy seeing Ronaldo in a United shirt again. It's just whether or not it's the right thing for the club. That's the question. They're two very different questions. Let's see what you say in the comments here. Damien Clark, get Ronnie back. The glory days will come back. Imagine that. He comes back. We win a double straight away. That would be beautiful. Wada's saying, I don't want Ronaldo at Old Trafford. I'm good. Ronaldo and Cavani would be a good fit for Greenwood's development. I mean, nobody could argue with that. Greenwood certainly developed this season, under Cavani. I don't think it was a coincidence that we saw Greenwood's best form when Cavani was banging form. I think you're not going to get many better role models, really. Cavani's been an absolute elite level striker for so long. Got Phil over on Facebook. How you doing, Phil? Bring Ronaldo back, no doubt. He would cost around about 20 million. 20 million for Ronaldo? I'd take that. Would I? I don't know. I really am confused as to where I stand on this Ronaldo situation, because on the one hand, it's Cristiano Ronaldo, man. On the other hand, do we really want to bring it? Is that really part of a long-term strategy at United to actually take us forward as a football club? Or is this just another one of those situations where United just sign a player without really thinking about it, just because we can? A bit like Alexis Sanchez. Alexis Sanchez was never part of a major plan at United. We just signed him because we didn't want City to sign him. And therefore, that was the reason we signed him. Sorry, got distracted. Someone there said about Donny van de Beek missing the Euros. And I had a look and I can't see that yet. So let's go back to a few of these comments. Let's see what you're saying. What's my opinion on James Tarkowski? Well, that's not it. James Tarkowski. Mate, Burnley's centre-back partnership. Can't remember the other bloke. Tarkowski's an excellent defender. Burnley have got excellent defenders. Very good defensive team. That's exactly what, what's his name? Sean Dyche does extremely well. But I find this really, I think I might have to do a separate video on this. What do you reckon? Yes or no? Should I do a separate video on Ronaldo? I think I might have to. It's interesting to see the debate. That's what I'm interested in, rather than the actual video itself. And now there's plenty of you watching now, and I guarantee you, all of you aren't subscribed to the channel. So go down below, hit that subscribe button, hit the notifications bell. I'm going to be here every single Monday to Friday, 9:30 to 9:45 start time. I'll be here for like half an hour, 45 minutes, running through all the latest United news and engaging in all of your comments, bringing your comments up on screen, bringing your super chats up on screen. Look, everyone's watching from around the world. We've got John watching at 4 a.m. in USA. Big up to you, John. You should probably go to bed, mate. It's 4 a.m. You know, but I'll let you know. And I enjoy doing these videos. I enjoy engaging live with you. I would have done it earlier, but I didn't have the internet. I didn't have Ethernet. So my Wi-Fi kept dropping in and out, and it was very frustrating for me because the quality wasn't there and you couldn't really engage with me properly. But now we can. And I'm excited for it. I really want to do these Monday to Friday live. If anything happens during the transfer window, and as long as I'm at home, I'll go live with a reaction immediately. And I like answering your comments. I love answering your super chats. I like getting you involved in the channel. And I'll also be sexing these live streams up quite a bit very soon. The setup's going to get a little bit more exciting, so you can be part of that. Let's read a few more of your comments out here, and then maybe, depending on whether I can be bothered or not, maybe I'll end it, or maybe I'll continue. We'll see. Oh, look, Marshall's watching over in India, 2:30 in the afternoon. Very nice. It is hot in England today. Let's read a few of these comments out. Connor saying Ronaldo is a Glazer's dream. Imagine the sponsorship and shirt sales off the scale, even if only for 12, 24 months. And there's no doubt that that's going to be part of the reason if we do sign Cristiano Ronaldo, that will be part of the reason why we can warrant paying those wages. Because, guys, I'm not sure if you know, it's Cristiano Ronaldo. Arguably the best player ever. Certainly the best athlete we've ever seen in football. I think someone like Messi is someone who's more naturally gifted. Someone like Ronaldo knew what he had, and he made the most of it. He put himself to 100%, and he kept himself at 36 goals in 44 games last year. The guy's 36 years old, for goodness sake. That's not fair. That's really not fair. He's won the league at United. He's won the league at Real Madrid. And he's won the league with Juventus. The guy's done it in 3 different leagues. Messi's done it comfortably at home. But I'm not getting into that debate because I can't be asked there. But I'll tell you what, we'll end it on Ronaldo. Why not? I really enjoy these live streams. I like chatting to you in the morning. I like answering your comments. As I said, make sure you subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Make sure you like the page if you're watching it on Facebook and share it around. Get as many Reds involved as possible. I'll be back here tomorrow morning. Actually, no, not tomorrow morning. I've got a hospital appointment tomorrow morning. Don't worry, nothing major, but I won't be here in the morning. Maybe I'll try and come back and do a lunchtime one. Want me to do that? Let me know. As I said, if any of you would like to get involved in the channel in any way, in like comment moderation, helping me with lives, that would really help. And I'd like to get as many of you involved as possible. So email me, sam@thepeoplesperson.com. I'll answer as many as I can. But thank you very much for joining in today. Let's see what happens and whether we get Cristiano Ronaldo. I don't think we will, but would I be upset if he came back? No, I don't think I would. It's Cristiano Ronaldo. Rafael Varane, that's the main story from today. I've covered that in detail. Jadon Sancho updates, Ruben Neves and Declan Rice. There'll be plenty more to talk about tomorrow as well. Of course, maybe there's plenty, by the way, asking for a Ronaldo video. So maybe I will do that. But until tomorrow or maybe Thursday, I don't know. Thanks very much for joining in. Take it easy.